The Bachelor is known for its dramatic endings, and although many seasons have ended with engagements, the chaos leading up to them could be alleviated if the show made some changes. Things often begin to go south during Hometowns week, and continue into a downward spiral through the fantasy suite overnight dates. Although the Bachelor lead making his final choice should be a joyous time, there is often a dark cloud hanging over him because of issues that developed in the weeks prior. The Bachelor's Zach Shawcross is embroiled in drama after his disastrous fantasy suite experience. He made a vow not to be intimate with any of the women during their overnight dates. Although he resisted temptation with Ariel Frankel, he was intimate with Gabby Elnicki. Zach then told Katie Bigger about the encounter during their date. Gabby was upset, and felt that Zach was guilty of kissing and telling. This was just the latest example of how the final weeks of The Bachelor should be changed in order to make the end of the show the romantic happily ever after that The Bachelor and his final choice deserve. 5. The Bachelor should have less contestants. When The Bachelor premiered in 2002, there were 25 contestants on the show. This number has since steadily grown to 30, which is far too many women. If there were fewer women to begin with, the lead would have more time to spend with each of them. On Zach's season, Ariel and Gabby went to the fantasy suite having had only one one-on-one date throughout the entire season, while Katie had 2. It is pretty unbelievable to imagine that any couple would be ready for an engagement after spending only 2 or 3 dates total together. With a smaller number of women, the Bachelor lead could date his final choices more seriously throughout the season. 4. The Bachelor should only have one hometown date. In the real world, people usually don't meet each other's families until the relationship gets serious. Although getting along with someone's family is important to many people when they're figuring out if a person is the one, it shouldn't be the deciding factor when choosing among 4 women. The Bachelor leading men are forced to meet more than one woman's family, which creates complicated feelings when loved ones are involved. There's no reason for the Bachelor to meet the families of all 3 women if he doesn't know who he'll end up with. Instead of putting the Bachelor through 4 hometown dates, he should only meet the family of his final choice to ask for their blessing for the engagement. The proposal shouldn't be a mystery. The Bachelorette Season 19 leads Gabby Wendy and Rachel Recchia were moving in this direction when Rachel eliminated Tyler Norris during his hometown date before she met his family. Similarly, Gabby only chose 3 men for hometown dates instead of 4. These were admirable steps in the right direction, proving that perhaps the leads should only be meeting the family of the one person they choose in the end. 3. The Bachelor should only have one fantasy suite date. The Bachelor fantasy suite dates used to be romantic overnight experiences during which the details of what happened between the lead and the women were left to the imagination. However, with the advent of tell-all books, podcasts, and social media posts within the franchise, contestants have been much more open in recent years about whether they had been intimate with each other. This has led to much debate about intimacy in the fantasy suites. Although there is nothing wrong with 2 people having consensual relations in the fantasy suites, there is something strange about it happening between the lead and multiple women in the time span of a week. Adding to the chaos is the fact that an engagement is expected just 1 week after that. In real life, most people wouldn't stand for their fiancé sleeping with someone else 1 week before their proposal. However, this has become the norm on The Bachelor. Clayton Echard's season of The Bachelor proved how damaging the fantasy suites can be. Caught up in the moment, Clayton was intimate with both Rachel and Gabby, and told them and Susie Evans that he was falling in love with all of them. When he revealed everything to the women, Susie quit the show. Rachel and Gabby were hurt, but stayed, only to be dumped by Clayton as he chased after Susie. Although Clayton and Susie eventually reconciled, they broke up a few months later. All 4 of these contestants were hurt by the drama of the fantasy suites. Zach didn't want to make the same mistake, so he made a promise to himself that he wouldn't be intimate with any of the women. When he was unable to do this, he felt guilty about saying one thing and doing another. At the rose ceremony, when Gabby and Katie became the final 2, instead of being overjoyed, they seemed upset and confused. If only the final woman went to the fantasy suite, then a lot of these problems would be alleviated. 2. The Bachelor should only date his final choice for a few weeks. One of the reasons why Bachelor in Paradise is so much more successful than The Bachelor and The Bachelorette because the couples can focus solely on each other. As their relationships grow over the weeks, they become very close, even in such a short amount of time. At the end of The Bachelor, the first hometown date recipient doesn't see him again for an entire week, while he meets the families of 3 other women. Afterward, she is then expected to go to the fantasy suite with him. It is an unnatural progression of a relationship leading to an engagement. The competition aspect of The Bachelor should end at least a month before the proposal. Then, the show could focus on the relationship between the leading man and his final choice. They could date more seriously without the distraction of other women, and that should be the time when he meets her family. It would prevent him from changing his mind, like Jason Mesnick and Ari Luyendyk Jr. By eliminating the confusion of feeling like he was in love with more than one woman. In addition, if the Bachelor and the final woman get engaged, she could accept the proposal knowing that he hadn't just broken up with another woman moments earlier. 1. The Bachelor lead shouldn't feel pressure to propose. The Bachelor franchise should do away with the expectation of an engagement. The format clearly doesn't work, since there have been 26 Bachelors before Zach and only one of them, Sean Lowe, married his final choice. Matt James is still dating Rachel Kirkconnell, possibly because he didn't put pressure on the relationship by proposing too soon. If the couple decides to get engaged at the end of their journey, it would be wonderful. However, the pressure of the proposal is one of the worst aspects of The Bachelor. The Bachelor has a failing format that must be changed. The show must allow the lead to focus more on the woman he wants to be with in the end. This is what Claire Crawley tried to do when she ended her season early to pursue Dale Moss. Instead of forcing an engagement and having the couple leave together, the show could let viewers watch their romance unfold. If The Bachelor ending was limited to one woman, a lot of the chaos would end. Although this would also eliminate the drama, the ultimate goal of The Bachelor wouldn't be overlooked, which is for 2 people to fall in love. The Bachelor airs Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC.
Can you be 나